Hello, hello, hello. Misty here with the Biz Solution Sisters. I am just taking out my phone, checking the group to see if y'all can see me and hear me. It looks like it. So I realized that for most of you, it's either middle of the night because you're in Europe or it's about bedtime. It is almost 9:30 a.m. for me. Hey, Stacy, good evening. You are still up. Good to see you here. Who else is here? Yeah, again, I realize that most of you will be sleeping probably, but that's all good. This will be available for the replay, so you can go and watch it anytime. And if you do, drop me a replay down below so I know who's here with us. But yeah, why I'm here, I want to talk a little bit about getting clients, getting leads and clients in 2022. Cause damn, it's the year is almost over. We're almost heading into the new year. Also, want to wish everyone happy holidays, of course. Christmas tomorrow for me. For some of you, it's still the 23rd today. How is everyone doing? How are you, Stace? Um, but yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen with you because I want to share a little presentation about organic outreach, direct outreach. And some of you will be very familiar with this. If so, you might want to skip ahead till the end. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. Thanks, darling. Um, But yeah, I know also for some of you, this is still quite new, but social selling and direct outreach is getting bigger and bigger now that everyone is moving online. And yeah, it's really where we're going in 2022. So give me a moment and I will share my screen with you all. Let's see. That's where I want to be. Yes. So, like I said, getting clients in 2022 with organic outreach. Is this something you are doing already? Let me know. Is this something that is completely new for you? That can also be the case, of course. Um, but let's get into it. And here's what we are going to cover today. Like I said, organic outreach, also known as prospecting, direct outreach, social selling, and we are going to be covering why organic outreach. And if this is for you, where to even start and how to find your ideal clients online. We will talk a little bit about imposter syndrome and limiting beliefs, the human approach, something we are very, very much for, and developing real relationships. It is a numbers game, and we'll cover what to expect. Also, when it comes to those numbers, what can you expect with organic outreach? And tracking and accountability, which is crucial and really will really help you get the best results and make sure you stay consistent and on top of your game. A little bit about the snowball effect and nurturing your leads, follow ups, and then, of course, automating your outreach to save hours every day and wake up to this presentation out too. Here we are. Okay, so why organic outreach, first of all, to get leads and clients? And is this for you? And the answer is, first of all, it works for everyone. It works for every industry. It doesn't matter who your ideal client is. And it's free. So it will depend a little bit on what resources you have available, what you are able to invest in your business. But organic outreach does not require a high advertising budget. There's no paid ads required. It is simple. Anyone can do it. You don't need to be a marketing expert. You don't need to hire a marketing expert. You don't need to be a copywriting expert. None of that. Another great thing about organic outreach is that you will always be simultaneously conducting ongoing market research, which we are all for. If you know us, you will know this very well. Um, it's personal. It really helps you build a strong network and a following on your social channels. It helps you become a recognized authority and expert in your industry, in your field. And most importantly, it is proven to be very successful. So you don't have to invent the wheel. You can use a proven strategy that has gotten great results for many people. Just checking the comments here. Oh, love market research too. Awesome. Yeah, market research is crucial. It's so important. But more on that in a little bit. I'll move on a little bit more about why it works so well. You have the option to really target your ideal client and your target audience using the search options available to you in Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever platform you are using, and you can filter for leads that are most likely to be people or businesses who want to work with you, right? And again, this does work if you're B2B or B2C, it doesn't matter. Everyone nowadays is online. So we can find our ideal clients online. Then you're always going to be a step closer. You are getting in front of and having conversations with tons of potential clients. And everyone you speak to has the potential to become a client. So, yeah. And the opportunity to qualify someone for being a suitable client via simple message conversations. Ongoing market research, we mentioned it already a little bit. And Stacy, you mentioned you love market research. I love hearing that. But ongoing market research, the more conversations you have with your ideal and potential clients, the deeper your understanding of your target market will get, and making future conversations so much easier because you'll get more knowledgeable about the challenges your market faces and so on. Then also your online presence, when positioned correctly, using the information from your market research, will support your efforts to become a recognized and credible or useful person to talk to. So connecting with as many people as you possibly can to show the world what you are capable of. Effectively and efficiently book sales calls, discovery sessions, or however your sales process, whatever your sales process looks like, or even direct sales, because this depends a little bit, of course, on the products and the services you are selling. If you're selling high ticket services, you might want to have a call with people. To create your sales opportunity. But if you're selling low ticket products, you might be able to sell right in the DMs. Um, but yeah, an effective and efficient way to book those calls or make those sales with leads that are ready to talk and ready to, yeah, already experiencing challenges that you can help them overcome. And that makes closing sales so much easier. So with this method, we leverage social and business platforms available to us to connect with ideal prospects, with potential clients. You can filter people based on location, based on interest, based on industry if you're B2B, and so on, to identify suitable leads, right? The laser focused targeting we were talking about. And it depends really on who your ideal client avatar is. Um, you can qualify those potential clients by asking questions that allows you to identify the challenges they face while keeping conversation human, of course. So, a little bit about the best platforms to use for organic outreach. Our favorites are definitely Facebook and LinkedIn. They're easiest to really narrow down your targeting and find exactly those people you are looking for. But there's other ways, other platforms as well, and it doesn't necessarily have to be social media. You can think of Gumtree, for example, eBay, anywhere where people might be listing their services, especially if you're working business to business, that is. And when it comes to Facebook and LinkedIn, it depends on your ideal client and who your target audience is. But a misconception I often hear is that people who are a business to business and they work with other business owners, their ideal clients are other business owners, that they have the idea that they can only use LinkedIn because it's more of a business platform, and their ideal clients might not be on Facebook or not found on Facebook, but that's absolutely not correct because everyone is on Facebook. So also business owners are on Facebook, and there are so many Facebook groups, for example, for business owners, even for specific industries. And just to give you a little example, you are a business owner, aren't you? You are here right now watching this video and listening to what I have to say. You might just be my ideal client. So yeah, Facebook is massive. Everyone uses Facebook, so it's a really good platform to be on with your organic outreach. And yeah, LinkedIn also definitely works because we have a really mixed group here with entrepreneurs and business owners in all different industries, both business to business as business to consumer. I am going to focus this one a little bit more on Facebook. But if you want to learn or know more about LinkedIn and how to use LinkedIn for your organic outreach, feel free to drop me a message or leave a comment and we can chat about it more. So, yeah, when it comes to Facebook and LinkedIn, where do I find my ideal clients or what do I do? Where do I even start? LinkedIn communities and Facebook groups are great to really filter your audience, your ideal clients. I hope it's not too loud here because there's quite a bit of nature going on here with the birds and everything. But yeah, LinkedIn communities and Facebook groups. And then there's posts, of course, on both platforms and comment threads below those posts where you can find your ideal clients. There are events you can find both on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and these can be networking events, but it doesn't specifically have to be networking events. Anything that is of interest to your ideal clients and to your target audience might be something you want to check out and find people to connect with or to add to your network. And another option is to check out your competitors or related brands. Who is following pages of your competitors or brands in your industry or that are suitable and of interest to your ideal clients? Then misconceptions and limiting beliefs. I'm just going to move this over here. Stop worrying. First of all, the biggest thing I have to say, stop worrying. There is no reason for you to feel like you are spamming people or doing anything wrong. You are not forcing anyone to connect with you, first of all. Everyone is free to decline your connection or friend request, to not respond to your messages. So, this is not spamming. Of course, it does depend a little bit on your approach, and you don't want to be spamming people with pitches and multiple messages, even though they're not showing any interest or engaging with you. But as long as you are taking a human approach and, yeah, you you are having conversations with people who are also engaging with you and interested in talking to you and hearing more, there's nothing wrong with that. In no way is that spamming. And of course, your intentions, as long as your intentions are good and you're not just making trying to make a quick buck, but you're really trying to help people, then how can that be wrong? Right? There is nothing wrong with this. It's not cold calling. It's simply engaging with people and exploring new relationships and adding people to your network. Then being human. I dropped that a couple of times already, but this is also something we find very important. You always need to remember that there's another human on the end of the keyboard. The goal in your first contact with a prospect is to have a conversation, human to human, that uncovers a potential need for your services or for your products, and that identifies them as a potential client or not. And that's also okay. Then we move on. But with your first approach, really keep in mind that you want them to get engaged in a conversation with you, and listening. Listen and ask. Make sure it's not going to be all about you, especially in the beginning. Don't be pitching if you have no idea if they even have a need for your service, but show genuine curiosity for their well-being, their challenges, their desires by asking open questions and responding appropriately. Of course, conversation should be natural and flowing, and this really takes off the pressure and removes the feeling of being sold to for the other person. And of course, we can have a little bit fun with it. And thanks, Stacy, for being here. You reminded me about this with the interview or the live you did with Taylor recently. Being human, we can be ourselves. Sometimes we really have this mindset that we've been taught in the corporate world as an employee, that we need to act a certain way or we need to communicate a certain way to be professional. And of course, it might depend a little bit on who your target audience is and what industry you are in, but be yourself. Have fun with it as well. It makes it so much easier. And people like to feel that they are talking to an actual person and not just a business. They like to get to know you. It helps build trust. It helps build that relationship, right? Take the lead is also one that is very, very important. So in the first contact with a lead, you also need to position yourself as an expert and an authority in what you do. This really sets the tone for the relationship, and they will know what to expect from you. I just, I think I just missed your comment, Stacy. Let's see. Need to go back and see how I messaged ideal clients and what worked. What is more personalized for more business like? Hmm. What do you mean with more business like? I'm curious. Curious to hear about that. But yeah, absolutely for assessing and reviewing the conversations you had to really figure out what people respond to well. But that will be a little bit later on. I'll move forward. Um, so where I was, you need to be in the driver's seat. Okay, if you are going to take them where they want to be, most importantly, they need to feel that you are trying to help them and you're not just trying to make a quick buck, as I mentioned already, or like you're too eager to sell without understanding if they are even a good fit and if you can actually help them. So warm up to the main event and qualify if they're indeed an ideal client or not. So you're not wasting time jumping on calls with people who will never even turn out to be a client. If they're feeling good, they're warm, they loose, they are open and feel unthreatened, they'll likely be more open to a first phone call or a Zoom. So yeah, and how far you want to take this with your qualifying game is really up to you, but also where you are at in your business, making sales. Um, if if you really have a big need for clients and your sales calls aren't going so well and you're not quite sure why that is, then maybe yes, it's fine if you want to jump on a call with everyone for market research purposes, but also to practice, to get in some practice, to get comfortable with making pitches and in your sales calls, right? But if you're past that point and you know exactly where you are, what works, what you need, and you don't have that much time, then you want to take that qualifying a little bit further and make sure that you're not wasting your time talking to people. But again, that's a little bit up to you and where you are at in your business. but it's a numbers game. When it comes to organic outreach, when it comes to prospecting, social selling, it is very much a numbers game. Every message you send is another opportunity, but every message not sent is a missed opportunity. Volume is everything when it comes to organic outreach, and you have to send a high number of messages, a high number of friend requests consistently over a significant amount of time to get the responses you are looking for. And to increase your chances of success, you simply increase the number of connections and messages you are sending out. It's really that simple. But be aware, because every time you lose consistency or every time you don't hit your daily numbers, it will be like starting all over again and you will lose that momentum. Um, you'll see empty pages on your calendar because if you haven't been making those new connections, a little bit later you will notice a gap in your sales call bookings, etc., because it's not flowing as it should. And if in the beginning you feel like giving up because of a couple of shitty conversations, rude replies, or because you're simply not booking calls or seeing any results, don't give up. It takes some time. And keep in mind, it is literally just like going to the gym, right? On day one, you will see zero results. But that doesn't stop you from going the next day, does it? I certainly hope not, at least. Because if so, you will never achieve your health and fitness goals. And it's a little bit the same here. If you stay consistent, if you stay committed over a couple of weeks and months' time, you will really start to see great results and reap the rewards of your hard work. It's like a snowball effect. So, all the way at the top, um, your current network, your current opportunities. But once you get that consistency in and you hit those numbers and you send out your request every single day, you message people every single day, the compounding effect of those little actions will start to kick in. And over a few weeks and months, it will almost be as it comes natural. It doesn't take as much effort anymore. You're picking up speed and you're becoming unstoppable. But in order for this organic outreach strategy to be successful, you must perform those daily actions to compound, which results in the snowball effect we just mentioned. And it takes two things: that's momentum and that's consistency. With stability in your daily actions, the results you see from your outreach workflow will become predictable and controllable. And that is something that is missing for so many people when it comes to their lead generation and growing their business. Never knowing what's going to happen next week or next month, never knowing where the next client is going to come from or how long this will take you, and what your income will look like in the future, in the near future, over the coming months. But once you have a consistency in place here and you know the numbers and you know what to expect from those numbers, and if you need to if you're not getting the results you're hoping for, that you can simply increase those numbers, and you know by what numbers to increase because it has become so predictable and controllable. So another important thing I want to mention is do not get discouraged by no's. They are part of the game. You need a bunch of no's before you get the yeses. This only means you are hitting your numbers and you're working on that volume and you're working towards those goals. You cannot expect everyone to right away be very pleasant and yeah, people that cannot wait to work with you. You will find those if you hit your numbers, but it's not going to be everyone. And that's just something we need to be aware of and be okay with. So, what to expect when it comes to those numbers, right? And this will depend a little bit on your experience and everything. But yeah, keeping some low numbers when you're just starting out. If you were to be sending 100 messages, you can easily expect 10 positive replies. From those 10 positive replies, you can definitely expect to book one call. So that would mean if you were to send 30 messages per day, you can expect around 3 replies. And eventually, of course, you will book a call or make a sale, but it might take a little bit longer. If you stop sending messages for a day or 2 days, you will lose that momentum. And it's like you have to climb all the way up that hill, up that mountain again for the snowball effect and for that compounding effect to kick back in. And something I do want to make very, very clear, yes, 100 messages might be ideal, might be what you want to work towards. But if you are new to this, if you are not already sending out that number of messages, this is not something you want to start doing on day one. Because whether you're using LinkedIn or Facebook or even other platforms, they're really, really sensitive nowadays. And this will be very unusual activity and most likely get you restricted or blocked or even like lose your account completely. So that's not definitely not something any of us want. So you want to build up those numbers slowly to keep your account safe, avoid restrictions and getting blocked completely. Um, so yeah, if you haven't been sending out any connection requests, maybe you want to start with around 20 and then every week build up that number. And you will get to a point where you are easily able to send 100 requests and messages and get calls booked every single day. Accountability and tracking. And yeah, like Stacy, you mentioned earlier already, diving into your conversations and seeing what people are responding well to and how you can improve your messaging game is awesome. It's going to be so helpful and it's really going to help you grow and get better results with your outreach. But do track your numbers and track your efforts, not just the conversations and how the conversations are going, but are you hitting those daily numbers? Are you aware of how many people you are reaching out to and what the percentage or the ratio is for booking calls, taking on new clients, etc.? Because that is something you will need to know um, to get to that predictability and having it be controllable and you knowing exactly what you need to do to hit your goals and what to expect next week, next month, over a 3 month period of time or even 6 months or a year. And yeah, tracking those numbers, tracking your efforts, it's a way to evaluate what you are doing, what works, what messages people respond to. Again, and to keep track of who is in your pipeline and who you need to follow up with, because that's a very important one as well, which we will get into more in a little bit. You can use a daily workflow tracking sheet for this. And if you have no idea what I mean by that, you don't have anything like that, then just drop a comment, daily workflow, and we will get one to you because this will be massively helpful. You can use it to keep track of your leads. You can use it to keep track of all the daily tasks you need to be doing to really move the needle for your business. You can keep track of everything you're doing and everything that is important, all the numbers, all the insights that you need to have. Um, but also keeping track of your leads is very important. Where are they at in the buying process? Who do you need to follow up with? You could use a sheet for that as well, or you can use a Trello board. Um, you might be familiar with Trello, maybe not. It is free to use. I used to use it in the past purely for my follow-up system to move people over from one day to the next, or yeah, really schedule who I need to follow up with and when. Do have to add, it is really, really time consuming. Um, And then, of course, we have our automation tools, which I will tell you more about as well. But we have a Messenger CRM, for example, where you can label people, tag people, keep notes on people, send bulk messages to people, and set follow up reminders as well. So, this completely takes out all of the struggle and overwhelm when it comes to your follow up game. But accountability and tracking is crucial, and that way you can really measure your success and the results will become predictable. On the other side, if you are not seeing the results you hope for, it will help you discover why that may be, what the reason for it is, where you need to improve things. Do you simply need to increase your numbers, or are you already hitting your numbers but just not booking any strategy sessions, any discovery calls, or yeah, again, whatever your process is, then you may need to tweak your approach, try something different, review your messages, learn from what doesn't work. All right, and nurturing and follow up. I think we're almost through it. Man, time flies. Nurturing and follow ups, I cannot make it any clearer, but this is crucial. The fortune is in the follow up, they say, and they say it for a reason. Okay. For one, because literally it's only 3% of prospects that are immediately in the buying pocket. And yes, when you're making volume and you're hitting your numbers, that may be enough to make a couple of sales, but it will be a very long process and you will need to hit very, very high numbers because, yeah, you're only ever going to sell to that 3% of people. Another thing you may have heard before is the marketing rule of seven, which quite simply states that on average, it takes seven interactions with you, your brand, or your business before someone is ready to purchase. People are like People like to do some research and gain a certain level of familiarity, um, trust as well before they go ahead and make that purchase or buy from you. Simply meaning you are leaving shitloads of money on the table if you don't have a proper follow-up system in place and if you aren't nurturing your leads. You will be stuck with only that 3%. Yeah, which is not going to get you much. So, again, here is what we covered so far about organic outreach, why organic outreach, and if it's for you, where to even start, how to find your ideal clients. I will go in a little bit more about that as well next, but imposter syndrome, limiting beliefs, no need to feel like a spammer. You're not doing anything wrong. The human approach, developing real relationships, the fact that it's a numbers game, what to expect, what kind of numbers can you expect, tracking and accountability and the importance of it, the snowball effect, how those little daily actions really compound over time, and nurturing and follow ups. And we're just about to get to the good part, automating your outreach to save hours a day and wake up to an inbox full of messages and inquiries. So, hopefully, so far, this was insightful and gave you some ideas for your 2022 lead gen and strategies. But if you really want to take things to the next level in 2022, it's time to automate and accelerate your lead gen because automation will really, really take over the scene in 2022 for plenty of reasons. And I will just, yeah, show you a couple of them by demoing what I mean when it comes to automating your outreach. Okay, so let me pause this for a second and I'll move over into my Facebook. I think you can see my Facebook right now. Let's see quickly if I missed any comments. No, not yet. All right, so Facebook. Again, I'm taking Facebook as an example. This also works on LinkedIn a little bit differently, of course, but if you want to know more about that, just let us know. I'm choosing Facebook because it's a platform that works for everyone. It really doesn't matter what industry you are in or who your ideal client is. And one of the ways to find those ideal clients is in Facebook groups. Facebook groups, your ideal client would be interested in because it helps them on with similar topics as you are able to help them with. So just to take an example, like my first original business with my marketing agency and advertising, I used to work mainly with people in the health and fitness industry. So anywhere from life coaches, nutritionists, personal trainers, gyms, etc. So let's say I want to connect with some ideal clients in the fitness industry. I could search for Facebook groups for personal trainers. So let's do that. Let's see what comes up when I go to groups. Hmm. Personal Trainers United. This is a really big group, right? 19K members. All right. So what I would previously do is, let's see, people. I'll go into the membership list to see who else is in this group. I would then scroll through a little bit and I would see who I think could be an ideal client. And an easy way, I'm not going to open everyone's profile, but I am looking at their headlines, their bios. So the little line you find underneath their names, because it shows me what they do or what industry they're in. And this is of course because I am now talking about business to business. I work business to business. That might be a little bit different for some of you. And then their title, their headline might not be important at all, and you can connect with everyone inside the group. But for me, yeah, here's one, for example, works as a personal trainer, someone I would want to connect with. What else do we find here? Personal trainer, that sounds good. So yeah, as you can already tell, it's quite time consuming to find the right people and then go in and check their profile to see if they're indeed a good fit. I am not wasting any time on this any longer because this literally took me a couple of hours today, my whole prospecting process in the past. But now that we can automate this, it makes things so much easier. And all I do, we have, and that's part of of our tools. We have a little extension right here, Genius Connector, which allows me to connect with my ideal clients on autopilot. And to keep my account safe from restrictions or getting blocked, I can also set up a lookup interval, because you might be able to imagine if you were to go click, 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 and add everyone. Um, that will again be unusual activity for Facebook. They might see you as a spammer, as a robot, etc. So we can set a lookup interval to make sure there's a couple of minutes in between sending out all of our requests. So let's set that to 5 minutes. I could then also say how many people I want to connect with for today. And again, it depends on your previous activity. Are you adding people every day? Have you not been really adding anyone or sending out any request? You want to start with a little bit of a lower number. You can choose to resume from a last search if you already ran it into the group in this group, or simply to avoid sending your request to all the admins and moderators of the group. So that's why I usually like to set it to like 18. Other things you can do here as well for that real target filtering is use keywords or negative keywords and or. So I could say I want to connect with personal trainers, anyone who has this in their bio. I could use a keyword fitness. I could use a keyword yoga or instructor. I can add whatever I like. And if you know your market, you will know the keywords people are using on their profiles, right? What I could also do, or instead do, maybe I want to connect with everyone in the group, but not so much with people who are in the same business as I am. So I might want to use negative keywords instead and add marketing, lead generation, software, social media, anything like that. And then I could also choose to, on autopilot, send them a DM, a connection message. And I can set that up however I want. It can be personalized with first name, etc. I'm going to leave that out for now. All I do is click run. And I can do this before I go to bed and wake up to replies to my connection message. I can go set this up and run it when I'm gonna go run errands, cooking, or even when I'm working at the same time in a different window. So it literally costs me no time and helps me connect with my ideal clients and start conversations, get people engaged on autopilot. It doesn't cost me anything. I literally open my extension, I click run, as it does save my keywords as well, and it will scan through the group and see exactly who matches the keywords or whatever criteria I'm using, then sending them out a friend request. As you can see, it's this is the scanning, all the numbers. It is now about to send a request to Stephen Lay because he fits my criteria, and that's because the keyword fitness is in his bio. You don't see much happening right now, and that's because of the interval. So there's always a couple of minutes in between, and that's also when it starts. But you don't need to be here looking at your screen. You can just go get on with your work or go to bed or whatever you like to do. So it's perfect with keeping in this consistency, because even if you're busy, even when you're sick, even if you just don't want to be online for a day, you're still keeping up with your daily workflow. So that is for Genius Connector. Then we also have, which you will have probably seen in the group already, a Messenger CRM. Let me just quickly stop this because I actually don't need to connect with any of the people in this group right now. Where are we? Yeah, there we are. Just stopping my screen share for a moment. And catching up on comments now. I see that I did miss some comments. Let's see, go back and review my conversations leading up to consultation, sales calls that converted to a sale. Yeah, that's always a great idea, Stacy. I'm not sure if you're still here, or maybe we'll watch this back later. I know it's pretty late for you where you are. But yeah, I just want to pick this up real quick because Stacy is actually one of our clients as well. So she's in our private community for all of everyone using our software. And I just want to let you know, when you go through all of those conversations, and you may find a few where you felt like they had a lot of potential and it was going somewhere, but somehow or for some reason they turned cold and you didn't get them on that call, they backed out or whatever. If you're not quite sure and not quite able to find where it went wrong in that particular conversation, or maybe you have more of them even, please drop them in the group, in a private group, so we can have a look at it with you to see if we can discover like where we can what we can do or say maybe to avoid that from happening. And then another question I see, does the keyword use the position or tagline description? Position, You mean I'm not let me quickly share again. I'll open my Facebook and I'll show you exactly where it's taken that information from or where it's finding that information because more people might be wondering the same thing or having the same question. So I'm just going to show you. Let's go Facebook. All right. Oh, I'll just take my profile. Um, oh, yeah. So for some people, this might be different. Facebook is going to some changes and updates again recently, like always. And there's different versions of Facebook. So sometimes an update will roll out for certain people, but not for everyone. It used to previously be right under your name right here. So for some people, that might still be the case. Otherwise, you'll find it right here. So this is my bio, my headline, my intro. And this is exactly where Genius Connector searches for those keywords. So for most people, that's what they do or who they help or yeah. So you don't want to make it too specific. You don't want it to be a full line or a full description because then there might be not so many people using those exact words in the exact sentence, but use keywords that could possibly be found here. And you will probably know if you know your target audience and your ideal clients and you see a lot of their profiles online. But if not, you can also scroll to a group's member list just to see what people have written there and what keywords are common and you recognize as being great keywords for you, right? So then back here, yeah, as I mentioned, you've probably seen our CRM a couple of times. It's one of our favorite tools. It's pretty awesome. It is perfect for keeping track of your leads, your sales pipeline, your follow up. It will take away those hours spent on Trello or wherever else scrolling through your inbox. And it saves time in plenty more ways. But yeah, I'm not gonna go into that right now, as well as like this is not a full-blown organic outreach training. There's more to it. There's indeed messaging. Something Station mentioned already, how to figure out where you can improve, where things are going wrong, what other angles to try, what other approach to try. There's handling objections, there's follow-up systems, there's so much more. If you are interested in learning about all of that, if that is something you want to know and learn more about, let us know because we might put together a workshop or a training on this. But for now, I just wanted to give you a global idea and overview of what it is, how you can use it, and if it is possibly for you. And then, of course, how you can get rid of the overwhelm and spending hours on social media doing it all manually because it can be automated. And who doesn't want to do that? Right? The CRM, yeah, I'm also not going to demo that right now or not going to go into all the details and everything Genius Messenger CRM can do for you, but we have a guide specifically about everything that has to do with our Messenger CRM. I will drop a link below so you can go and watch it there if you want to know more. But a couple of things I do want to mention now about automation, using automation. Don't be mistaken about automation. These are a couple of misconceptions we hear quite often. And one of them is that you have to be in skill mode rather than just starting out with your business to have a need for it or to be able to use it. And that's absolutely not true. It is difficult. No, it is definitely not. You just saw me use it. It is as simple as can be, pretty much, and usually only takes a couple of clicks of a button and will then run on autopilot. It is expensive. Nope, not at all. Even like there's things that are expensive when it comes to your marketing. Hiring a marketing expert, hiring a team to do your outreach could be expensive. Budgets for paid ads, Facebook ads, etc. Even not doing anything and not using automation can probably be more expensive in the end because of all the trial and error, all the hours you need to put in to get the results. So, saving all of that time, having a proven system and strategy, connecting with more people, knowing exactly what content performs and what people react to, in the end, saves you quite a lot of money, I think. But yeah, it requires a team. Nope, 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 not at all. It is really like having a virtual assistant inside your computer 24/7. So it could almost replace a team. But don't get me wrong there. If you do have a VA or a team, keep them, keep them, but have them implement automation because it will allow them to get even better results and yeah, really, really, really get the most of the efforts and the hours they're putting in. You'll never understand it. Nah, nah, nah. I said already, it's easy AF. It is really simple. And yeah, we joke about it all the time with Tay, my biz sis, who is called a tech granny because she can pretty much almost get a panic attack when it comes to technical stuff and yeah, it's not her thing, but even for her it has been super super easy. She has never had any trouble with it. um, and she's all about automation now and doing so and so and so much more and getting more comfortable with it as well, which is awesome. um, Another thing we hear quite often, I think most of all, I'll show up like a robot. No, you definitely you definitely won't. I mean, we're all about the human approach. I think we make that clear in everything we put out there, building real relationships and connections. We would never use something that, yeah, that that makes it seem like you're a robot. We're not for it, but it's definitely not the case. You can still be as human as you are being it manually, and you can really customize your messaging and your approach and everything. So no worries there. Facebook will block me. No, 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 no. This even helps you avoid getting blocked for multiple reasons. One of them, the time interval that we have pretty much on all tools that I quickly showed you as well. Then there is rotating different messages. We have ways to set up different variations of a message. So if you're using any automated messages in DMs and all of that, it doesn't look like copying and pasting. It doesn't look like spamming. First of all, they're not going out like second after second after second, but also every person and every next message is worded slightly differently, so it really doesn't get you in trouble with Facebook and keeps your account safe. Then, what else? What else? Some amazing time saving stories. And yeah, Tay last month, was it even a month ago? I think it was almost a month ago, maybe not even. She had dengue fever. And if any of you know about dengue fever or had dengue fever before, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. You can't do anything. But even though she had dengue fever, she was still working on and growing her business, even though she wasn't doing anything, but her automation tools were doing it for her, sending out 87 friend requests, sending out 87 DMs, and 129 workshop invites over a 5-day period. Most people take like 3 or 4 weeks to do all of that and send out that many messages and invites. We are saving our clients 5 to 10 hours per week now that they're using our automation tools. We run our tools while we sleep and wake up to workshop signups, warm leads, signups for our challenges, or whatever it is, new people on our email list, and so much more. Then some amazing money making stories that I want to share with you as well, starting with Tay again, who landed a 3K client In the first week of implementing just one of our tools, the one you just saw. So connecting with this ideal client on using Genius Connector. Our clients have gotten one, two, even three clients after just a week of using our tools online. Even some people in our challenges have made like halfway through a 7 day challenge, made sales and multiple clients. One of our clients, Deanna, who is a meditation coach, recently celebrated four clients in less than 24 hours. Insane. Again, congrats, Deanna. We're so proud and we're so happy for you. And then the priest, who is a network marketer, celebrated four clients in just a few days. Possibly a lot more by now, but that is incredible. It's not something you hear happen very often, right? For you, again, the priest, congrats as well. So amazing. We had a client more than double her rates because all of a sudden she was closing sales left and right and getting so much more confident with what she was doing and her offers and her pitch, etc. So much more. But you can find all of the reviews, social proof, messages, screenshots, emails, video testimonials spread through the group. um, but yeah, we love automation. We definitely love automation. It has changed our business and therefore our life as well. What we love most is the consistency. It helps us get and keep the structure and the strategy. No more throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping it may stick. No more wasting hours, days, weeks on trial and error. And things get done on autopilot. More naps, more time at the beach or chasing waterfalls in our case. And confidence continues to grow every single week. We see this happen for everyone. And I think that's so beautiful. Booking out our workshops, lives, launches, getting more clients on pretty much autopilot. And mastering a very valuable skill for 2022 and beyond. So I am very curious. We might be more in the Christmas space and spirit at the moment, but just a couple of days and we're heading into 2022. How do you feel about 2022? Are you ready? Have you worked out your goals? Have you worked out your strategies and how you are going to achieve those goals? Do you feel inspired, excited, ready? Or maybe a bit scared, not so much ready, no systems in place. If that's the case, just reach out to us because we can definitely support you and help you crush some big goals in 2022. So how can we support you? One way is with our affordable software plans. So ask us about it. We have month to month plans, even a long term commitment. You can really try it out for yourself and see how it works because we know what it does for people and we know you'll be hooked after a week of using those tools. You can also get really affordable and great deals for yearly subscriptions. But again, if you want to know more, reach out to us or go visit our website. Go check our YouTube channel where we have complete tutorials on how everything works as well and what we have out there. And we want to wish you good luck. Good luck for 2022 and happy holidays. Of course, Merry Christmas. All the best wishes and see you soon.